Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We are back in the rookie fixed edition of the BMW M2 CS Racing, this time at Charlotte Roval, the 2025 edition. Don't be watching the wrong guide, although I'm sure lots of people are going to do so. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and as always, this is going to be a hot lap, a breakdown, then we will be back in the cockpit one final time, the driving line on. Right, let's go. Okay, so here we are smashing it down the main straight, looking for our entry into turn one, which is this one marker on the right hand side. We brake briefly up to about 35%. Now we get back on the gas up to fourth, little lift as we go through turn two, back over to the left hand side at the end of the Armco. That's when we're on the brakes, only up to about 25%. Try and get that car turned in. Very difficult. Back on the gas at the apex. Now we're up to fourth, but we are going to do a lift as we come into turn 5. Now back on the gas, we want to be really wide here as we get to the top of the rise. On the brakes, up to about 40%, down to third gear, long trail off. Now back up to full gas as it dips away from you on the right hand side there. So when you get on the brakes, down to second gear, trying to get on the gas as early as possible. You do have to point up the course, otherwise you are going to have all sorts of trouble with the traction control. Now we go down the hill and we're just trying to keep it nice and tight to this white line on our left. The good news is, this is one of the easier cars to get through this next chicane. Just before the 4 marker, braking briefly up to about 75%, hold it, trail it off down to third gear, little dab of the gas, back on the gas, and slide it up and close to that wall. Now trying to hold it down low once more, all the way through turn 13. Right, at these yellow buckets on the brakes, up to about 85%, down to fourth, down to third, back on the gas as we hit that first little lift on exit, and over and across the line we go in a 128.7. Right, coming up next will be the breakdown lap. Right, breakdown lap. So as I say, first braking marker just after the 2, which you can still see in front of me here, although, oh, I've actually started braking. One of those things that you only find out when you slow it all down. So we go up to about 35%, back on the gas at the apex after you've trailed off the brake, and then we're going to gradually start increasing the throttle application until we get up to 100% here at the exit of the corner, up to fourth gear. Now, before we actually make our turn, we're going to do a little lift and then gradually back on again. Now over to the left hand side, and as you can see, the end of the Armco, before it starts showing Bank of America on the sidings, not above us, on the sidings, that's when we're going to start braking as we come into turn 3. We're only going to brake up to about 25%, and we're going to try and almost get that rear loose so that we can get it turned in. Little dab on the gas and then lightly on the brakes again, and we'll start picking back up on the gas as we jump over that curbing using the very soft suspension that the BMW has, and up to fourth gear. Now as we go through turn 5, as we start the turn in, we're going to immediately do a lift, and then we're going to start picking back up on the gas at the apex. It's going to send us out wide. This is fine. We want to be coming over this rise and then going on the brakes up to about 40% and get ourselves turned in. Drop it down to third to help with some engine braking, and we're going to still trail it off a little bit more until we get up to sort of 2/3 gas around here. And once we've got that car straightened up and the steering unwound, we are back up to 100%. Now, as this blue and white line drops away from us, that's going to be our braking marker for the hairpin of turn 7. So we brake briefly up to 55, but it does go higher, briefly up to 75%, down to second gear. And now we're getting back on the gas. I went a little bit early and then I had to go again. Try not to do that because the car doesn't like it. And we do have to aim up the hill initially, otherwise the traction control is just going to kick off. Now we go back down the hill, and as I say, we're just hugging it tight here to the white line. That's fine. Give you a rest from my voice briefly. Right, for the chicane, we're going to brake after the 5 and before the 4 markers, and we brake only up to about 75-80%, and we're going to hold that at around that level until we turn in. Then we trail it off down to third gear. I do a little dab of gas, don't know why, no one else does. Little dab of brakes again, but only up to about 10%, as you can see. Now, once the car's settled, I start getting back on the gas. As I unwind the steering, I go up to 100%. The car's going to continue to slide slightly left, but if you've done it right, you're going to get nice and tight to that wall without ever actually hitting it. Although in real life, I'd probably lose that wing mirror every single time. Now we just hold it flat down at the bottom. And for the final chicane, these yellow buckets on the left-hand side full of water to protect drivers. Once we're alongside that and it's showing in my left-hand triple mirror, that's when I get on the brakes and I go quite hard here, up to about 85%. I'm just trying to keep the car as straight as possible so I can trail it off, back on the gas as I hit this curb on the right-hand side. We go up to full gas as soon as the car's landed and settled down, and then I do just a minute little lift before going over and across the line in a 1:28.7. It's a lot of fun driving around here. Now we have the driving line version coming up next.